My name is Alicia Shay, and I am from Flagstaff, Arizona in the United States, and I run for the Nike Trail team. I run mountain trail races, anything from a half marathon up to as far as Transvulcania. Why Transvulcania? I came here last year because I had heard how hard the race was. So I thought, well, if I'm going to start trail racing, I might as start with one of the hardest races and see if I survive. And I did survive. But I think there's a lot of things that I could have done better last year to improve on my performance. So this year I'm coming back because I want to do better and I want to see how much faster and harder I can push myself. I used to run the 10,000 kilometers in high school, college, after college. I was a track and field athlete, and then just made the switch recently to mountain and trail running because I really like running longer distances and running over mountainous terrain and really difficult, beautiful areas. And I didn't run for 4 years because I had been training really hard for the Olympics, and my husband had been training very hard for the Olympics as well, and he passed away. He died from a heart attack, and so I just it was very hard to run, and I pushed really hard and I trained really hard, but then eventually my body just got too tired because I had a lot of difficulty in my life. So I just stopped running and just let my body heal and just kind of recover. And then when it was natural, I started running again when it felt good and when it felt right. And so that took a long time for that to happen. When I came back to running, I went back to running on the track and running the 10K and 5K and the shorter races. And I found that, you know, during the time that I wasn't running, the mountains and the trails and being out in nature really brought me a lot of healing. So when I started running again, I didn't really care for that type of racing anymore, the track racing. I wanted to be out on the trails and the mountains, like the place that brought me so much healing and strength. And so one of my friends told me, you should try one of these trail races. And I thought, what is that? I didn't even know people did that. And I did it, and I loved it. And it's now, I'm a different runner, and this is kind of a different phase in my life where running means something different to me, and I really enjoy the way I'm able to train and race and be in the mountains now. Trail running for me, it's just kind of a natural expression of who I am. I have a really great love for being outdoors and being in the mountains and the canyons and on the island, and it's just part of who I am. It brings me a lot of joy and satisfaction, and so to be able to do that and to be able to every day be somewhere I love that makes me a healthier, better person is really special. I feel like I have a very important gift, and I would never want to go back to the way I did things before. I want to keep exploring and being around other people who enjoy it too. I like suffering, yes. And Transvulcania gives you a lot of suffering, so I like to come back here and try this race again. Because you get to find how much the body can handle and how strong your mind is and how strong your body is, and push and push, and you find that you can go further and harder than you thought you were capable of, and it's a really good feeling to see how much can you handle on this day. To me, mountain trail racing, sky running events are even more challenging because you have the speed and you have the altitude and the length of time you're out there and the volcanic rock and all the different elements that you have to constantly be thinking and adjusting, and your mind and your body have to work together, and I think that's really fun to try to master that. I think for a lot of people it really helps to have a coach because you need somebody to kind of tell you, no, you're doing too much, or you're not pushing hard enough, and they can tell you, you know, what parameters you need to train within, and to encourage you and say, you can do this, and you know, help you make sure you set goals that are reasonable, and then really like do the things that you need to do to continue to get better. For running, nutrition is also very important because what you put in your body is what your body has to work with. So I found that in coaching, it's really important to not just give people a training program, but tell them how to treat their body as well and what foods to eat and when to eat them. So it's a good combination. Most people think that they have to have good nutrition, they have to eat perfect. And I would say you don't necessarily have to eat perfect, but you just have to find a few things that maybe you're not good at or bad habits, and just work on a few things to get better. Not all of it all at once, but just a few things that you can do to help your body be healthier and be a better runner. Somebody that was beginning to run, I would recommend that same advice that, you know, if you love running, then make sure you always do it in a way that you take a lot of happiness from it and that you continue to love it more and more, like a relationship. You know, you do things that make that relationship stronger and better. So if you're just starting to run, you know, do the races that you enjoy doing, or run on the trails that you love being on, or just make it your own and live your own life through that. It's important to remember that running is a really special gift. Not everybody has the ability to run. They don't have, you know, they're not healthy enough, or they don't have the ability to go out and train and do beautiful races. So if you are somebody that enjoys running, to really use that gift and try to see how much you can get out of yourself, because it's a beautiful thing to be able to run and do the things that we get to do. After my husband passed away, I got a big house and had a lot of athletes come and stay with me. And it was really fun just getting to know other people and care about their journey and their running and their lives and their difficulties and their victories. And it was something that for a long time really, I think, helped me kind of heal in my own process, just to open my home and be a part of other people's lives. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to just do what you love, no matter if it's something that's more successful or not as successful. It's like you have one life and you have to do the things that you're passionate about. So for me, that's the way I live my life now, and that's trail running and mountain running and the people that I get to be around. So even if it's not as high level and it's not Olympic level, it's like, it's what I love to do, it's who I am.